Hello, guys. I did see that I accidentally put this stream on normal latency. So if you guys are seeing me pop on camera a tiny bit before 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, that is why. So I just wanted to direct you guys to the poll that I have in the chat. If you guys have not voted yet, please vote which flute you want me to review first. Right now, Haynes Amadeus is winning, so we're probably going to do that first. I have set aside 2 hours for this stream, so I was thinking I'd spend approximately 1 hour on each flute. So how are you guys doing? I just wanted to wait maybe a little bit. I'll wait like an extra 5 minutes before I start. I end the poll and I start reviewing the probably the Haynes Amadeus. So I already opened the box from the last review that I did. The last review was the Woodify. So that was super fun. But that did mean that I ended up opening the same box that these guys were in. But rest assured, I have not actually opened up these flutes at all. So, you know, I don't, you know, like I cannot tell you guys exactly how these play because I have not played it yet. I went on Flute Center site to find the listings of these guys, and I'll put it into the whatchamacallit, the description now. So we have, let me just make sure that that goes to the correct one. Okay, yeah, it does. So the first one we have here is, this is the Haynes Amadeus 580. And then we have the Yamaha 462H. The H stands for B-foot joint. So when you guys go to the Yamaha listing, make sure to click on the 462H B-foot joint option, because there's 3 different options that you get with this model. So let me save that, and then you guys should see it. If you guys refresh this page, then you guys will see it in the video description below. But there you go. That's what's happening. Let me say hi to everyone who's here in the chat, and hello to all the lurkers as well. You don't have to come out of lurking. It's totally fine if you're shy and you don't want to be in the chat, but I just want to acknowledge your presence and thank you for your lurking presence. It really does help, so thank you. Hello, Victor and Nathan, Jackie, Saturday, John Sherman, hello. John, I see you've changed your username. Oh, hi, how are you? And Linny, hello. How are all of you doing? So right now is a little bit bright before the eclipse. Okay. Oh boy. I don't really keep up with the eclipse and stuff like that. Blind guy, hello. How are you? I hope you guys don't mind that I'm looking all the way over here right now, because the poll that I have on in my OBS here is absolutely just covering up the chat. I don't really know why the poll is on the bottom instead of on the top. So like I have chat open in 2 spots here. So I have it open over here too. Arthur Richard, hello, welcome. Again, if you guys have not voted yet on which flute you want me to review first, please vote. I will close it in about 2 minutes. And then we will get started. So I think about an hour, if not a little less than an hour on each flute is more than enough. I think it's more than enough. Also, if you guys can remind me to start recording it as well. I need to record this so I can edit this footage. Frederick, hello, how are you? Let's see, cloudy where you are, Saturday, you only get 85% totality. I don't know how much totality I get over here. Is it just gonna get really dark outside all of a sudden while we're in the middle of this? Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, I think we should get started soon. Let me see. Yep. very soon it's going to hit 10:35 a.m. where I am at, and then I'm going to end the poll. Looks like it's the Haynes Amadeus 580. Samuel Roten, hello. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you for being a longtime subscriber. Really appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Absolutely so sweet. You get none. No eclipse in France. You do have Sahara sent into the sky, which makes it like sepia filter. Whoa, that's crazy. Hey, Lisa, how are you? How are you? Okay, looks like I need to, it has hit 10:35, so I'm gonna end the poll right now. Okay, it is the Haynes Amadeus has won with 64%. So we're gonna start with the Haynes Amadeus. I'm gonna put the Yamaha off to the side. Okay, let's begin. So I'm gonna start recording. Whoa, whoa, okay. All right, so we're going to start with reviewing the Haynes Amadeus 580. I took a look at the listings for both of these, this one being the Haynes Amadeus and the other one being the Yamaha 462H. They are both new listings, by the way, on Flute Center. So I actually asked the Flute Center to just send me 2 flutes or so that they just surprised me. I couldn't really think of what I wanted to review at the time. And you guys have given me a lot of ideas since then. But at the time that I asked the Flute Center for these, I just didn't know what to ask. So I was like, just send me something. And then it looks like they have sent me 2 new items in their inventory. So let's start with the Haynes Amadeus. We're going to start, I think what I'll do first is, here, I'll do that. And then that way you guys can see more of what's going on here. Okay, so it does come with shoulder strap, and it comes with is this wood? Yeah, I think it is wood, but it's quite nice and finished, which I normally don't see it finished quite so nicely. Like it's almost not lacquered, but there's like a protective kind of coating over it. Oh, it also comes with extra plugs. Very nice. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is actually take out the plugs if there are existing plugs in this. We'll see. Oh, what else does it come with? It comes with a little warranty card. That's like a state of California warning. And then this is please use only after purchase. Oh, I like that they came out with these stickers. That's really cool. But it looks like this is the swab to clean the inside, and then this looks like the polishing cloth. Ooh, I like that they're very nicely packaged. That's really cool. Okay, so we got this. I'm actually going to put this off to the side here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, I think if I hold it up to the light, then you guys can see the Haynes engraving on the case itself. That's pretty cool. A little bit unusual, actually. I like that they do that. There you go. Okay, the plugs are not in it, so I don't have to remove it. Wow, looks very pretty. Look at that. I love it. Okay, I'm just going to start with some first impressions here. When I look at the A sharp or B flat lever, it is very, very tall. I don't know if you guys can see. Like, look how insanely tall that is. That's really tall. Very cool. So it's very easy to find as a result. That's the first thing I notice. The other thing that I notice is the lip plate. It comes inward at a pretty severe angle like this. I will show you my head joint as a comparison. Just put this here. Okay, so So this is my head joint for comparison, but you can see how this guy, you see how it comes out at a much narrower angle? Yeah, you see that on the outer part of the lip plate here, it curves much more gently. This one just comes inward like crazy. Like it's almost like V-shaped like that. Just the outside here. So I wonder what that does. I'm unsure if it does something to the sound. At the very least, I'm guessing it's less material. So I don't know. We'll see if it does anything to the sound. Let me, here, I think I'll do this. And that way you guys can, hopefully it will, this is the part that takes the longest, is trying to get this thing to, there we go. Yeah, now you guys can see how severe that is. It really like comes in at an angle like this on both sides, like that. So you can see that mine looks like this. It's like more curved, as you can tell. Sorry for the grime on mine. Okay, those are my first impressions. There we go. And I think what we'll do now is just put it together and start playing. So we will start with harmonics, and then we're just going to make our way down our usual list of our usual rubric. Okay, let me go back to this. I'm just going to, I think what I need to do is take out my list so that I have something to go down. Okay, so cool. Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, so we will do that. I'm gonna put this up here. Okay, let's go. So let's start with this. And I do have, just so that I can write down a few notes, like notable things as I go. So this is the Haynes Amadeus 580. Oh, I should probably list out the specs for you guys too. So the Haynes Amadeus specs are, so silver plated head joint, sterling silver, lip plate and riser. Okay, so the lip plate and riser are silver. Silver plated body and mechanism, drawn tone holes, French open hole model, pointed key arms, yep. 0.016 inch tubing, which is standard. Offset G, split E mechanism. Does this one have split E mechanism? No, it does not. So this one does not have split E, but you can get the split E. And let me see how much more that is. So it's about $100 more if you want the split E mechanism. This one does not have split E mechanism and B foot joint. Okay, pretty standard. This I would say is a very good like step up model flute. Maybe probably crossing the line between step up and intermediate is what we're looking at today. So I'm going to guess probably built for ease of playing, and we'll see how this responds. So let's stand up. Yeah, I did start recording. Thank you guys for making sure. Okay, I'll be sure to like talk with you guys, you know, after we've done, I think, the bulk of this review for this flute. I wanted to see if you guys had any additional questions at the end. That way, I just noticed that in terms of editing, it makes editing a little bit easier. So, okay, we will put this together. Here we go. This thing is just, if you guys are wondering what this little piece of paper is, this is a, I think it's a tarnish. Yeah, anti-tarnish paper. So very handy if you have a flute with like silver parts, or is like the whole thing is silver. Okay. Oh, the next thing I'm noticing is how like square and large the lip hole is. It is very large and square. Okay, so I wanted to, I don't know if you guys can see just how large it, yeah, I think you guys can see how large and square that is. It's extremely large and square. I just noticed that as I was putting it together, I was like, whoa, that is a huge lip hole. So probably can take a lot of air. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, we're gonna start with harmonics. Maybe I should do my usual thing and pop in an earplug, especially if I'm gonna go really high. Okay. All right, here we go. So interesting. I'm taking out my earplug because I feel like I can't hear what I want to do. I'm trying to find where that high B flat is. Interesting. I'm gonna review that one more time. Okay. Once more. All right, thanks for letting me try that out a bit. Okay, I need to do a bit of drawing as usual. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, it's drawing time. Let me shift on over to this screen. Oh, this, okay. So we're on the Haynes Amadeus 580. Okay, so we'll start with our teeth. Oh, that's a horrible. That's quite terrible. Okay. There, we'll do that. And then okay. It's an approximation, guys. It's an approximation. There's our tongue. And then we got our lips. Okay. Not terrible. Now, okay, we'll start with the low notes where they're the absolute lowest notes are right here. Like, I feel like my whole front tooth is vibrating. It might even be actually just straight up like, yeah, these are the lowest notes. So I'll give you guys a little legend here. So this is low notes. And then I would say that it continues up and it doesn't go very far back at all. Middle register notes are around, like I would say lower middle register. Lower middle reg. Oh, that's making me realize that I should probably, we'll call this low register. Okay. Reg. And then middle register is here. It's like all crammed in together. Upper middle reg. And then our high notes, the lower half of the high notes are like here. It's all crammed in together. So I'll put here, this is lower high. So up to about probably somewhere around high G to A is what I'm talking about. Now the upper half, so if you're going up to like high B flat C, at least for harmonics, it shifts forward and it's like here. That's where I'm feeling it, at least. It's super interesting. So upper, or that is like extreme high. It's really interesting. So what this is telling me is that so each flute has what I call its problem harmonic. The problem harmonic tends to tell you what are the weak points of the flute. Not that that's a bad thing, it just is. So what's interesting is that the design of this flute is such that the weakest point of the flute are the absolute highest notes. Like I was hitting like a high B flat, high C. And if you are playing this flute, you are likely a kind of, I would say, step up, maybe lower end intermediate, kind of like that's the, you know, like that's the flute that you're looking for. You're probably coming out of a beginner model flute and you're looking for a slight upgrade. That's probably what you're looking for here. And so what's interesting is that generally speaking, I would say most people, when I ask them, where do you want to spin the air in your mouth? Most people will say they want to spin it essentially where the teeth meets the gums. So most people spin their air around here, which you can see is sort of the right smack in the middle of where essentially the entire range of the flute is. So you can still get a decent low register and high and like bottom half of high register, and your middle register will sound great if you're spinning it where I think most people would spin their air. So I'll put this here, where most people want to spin their air. Yeah, it's really interesting. So again, lower register is about bottom half, if not bottom 3/4 of the front teeth. The middle register is just above that, where the teeth meets the gums. And then the lower part of the high register is kind of like where that ridge is on the roof of your mouth, right behind where the teeth meets the gums. And then the upper extreme high notes are, I feel them in front of your, the gums, between your gums and your top lip, like in the front there. It just shifts forward. And yeah, the problem harmonic, no matter which flute you're on, whichever problem harmonic it is, for some reason, it always wants to shift forward, be a little bit more forward in its resonance, like where the air spins, that is. So it always wants to be right up in, like, just kind of shifted forward. Because normally I think we would expect that it will just go higher and further back in the mouth. So I was expecting to resonate those extreme high notes around here. So, which is like about, I want to say 1/3, about 1/3 into my mouth. Like, this is a very forward playing flute, actually. Like, for what it is, it's very forward playing, but weirdly enough, the low notes are not as forward as I think they should be. So you guys may have noticed that like my low notes were disappearing in the beginning, and it's because I was trying to resonate them where I normally would, which is around here, somewhere around there, like in front of my teeth. But yeah, it's not. It's actually like right, like my whole tooth feels like it's vibrating. So yes, this is absolutely built for people who are, I think, moving right out of a beginner flute. And because most of the notes that you play will probably sound pretty good. Your middle register is probably going to sound the best. But your low register and your high register will still absolutely, or like most of your high register, the notes that you would hit at this level of playing, definitely will still sound okay. Like, they won't sound as resonant as you want them to because you still have to move it a tiny bit, but that does take a little bit of finesse that, you know, you will probably continue to develop. So yeah, what do you guys think? That's super interesting. You're welcome. You're welcome, blind guy. I'm very happy to verbally explain. But yeah, this is really, really, really interesting. Okay, so that is our, like, in terms of where the air is spinning, that's what's happening there. I think next we need to figure out how the tone color and dynamics work. So let's go back here, and I'm just going to write here that most of the air spins around teeth to where the roof of mouth begins. Yeah. It's right along there. So problem harmonics are the extreme high ones. So you basically, like, if you were to practice harmonics on this flute, like, and go up to G, which is what most people do, you will feel like you have no problem. There's absolutely no problem. Like, it goes exactly the way you want. there isn't going to be one that's like kind of like finicky. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I like this. I like this very much. Okay, so let's fiddle around with tone, color, and dynamics. All right, that took a little bit of finessing for me to figure out, but I did eventually figure it out. All right, I think what we'll do is, let's just go back to our drawing page. So if you want a thin or soft sound, you will want to go for something. I guess I'll use orange here. So we'll say this is tone color / dynamics. Okay, so if you want thin / soft, you want something that, so wherever you feel the air needs to spin in the mouth, this is a kind of like cross section of your airstream. Okay, so the shape of your airstream should be a very tiny circle. It's a very tiny circle. So if you want a thick sound, like rich, loud sound, you open up the bottom. So the shape is kind of like a rounded triangle is how I would describe it. That's how it feels to go between that soft and thin sound. So what I noticed was that you can maintain a thin sound but have it be a little louder if you just maintain that circular shape. I do want to see if I can get a thicker sound even if it's soft. So let's try that. Okay, you can. It feels like you're doing, like, if you want a softer but richer sound, it feels like, oh, this, it feels like you're doing that. So you maintain like a lot of space on the bottom, but then you just kind of like, you still have to spin the air higher up, I would say, because as you can see, you're spinning the air really high up in the mouth most of the time. So that's what it feels like, I would say, for tone color dynamics. Okay, yeah. So small circle, if you want to go thin and soft, rounded triangle with the fat part of the triangle on the bottom. And that's how you get the nice rich sound. Okay. Let's go back. I'll put that here. Small circle for thin, rounded triangle for rich sound. Okay. Next, we should probably look at the articulation. So let's do some articulation stuff. I keep, like, my mouth wants to resonate the note really low and forward, but it's not that here. It's higher. I have to kind of imagine I'm playing middle register. Oh, it was as expected, but I think my mouth really doesn't want to do it. So the tonguing doesn't really move, or at least it only moves very, very slightly. So usually you want your tongue to hit the same place where you're resonating the note, or where the note wants to resonate in your mouth. But because it's all jammed in around the same place, the tongue just feels like it's hitting from behind the teeth to maybe just a little bit of like where the tongue meets where the teeth meets the gums. And that's it. So if we go back to our diagram here, our tongue. Okay, so the tongue for single tonguing just kind of generally hits in this area. Like you'll go a little bit further down, just like right up against teeth for your low notes, and then like a hair higher, just a hair. But like you don't even really have to if you don't want to. Therefore, this is a great flute for people who are maybe just learning something like double tonguing, or if you are just getting used to tonguing in general. On this flute, you really don't have to move it around too much in order to sound pretty darn good. So yeah, you don't have to, you know, like you don't have to do tongue gymnastics basically to get it to sound good. That's really cool, because what I remember is that like much older beginner flutes, this range of movement, this range of like where your low notes sit versus where your high notes sit, where it was massive. It used to be massive. Like it used to be that your low notes needed to be like way so far forward that like sometimes it even felt like it was like out of your mouth, whereas the high notes are like way in the back of your mouth, so you feel like you're choking. But now everything's just crammed up as close as possible in the same place. So this is really good if you're learning to tongue, I would say. Learning to tongue cleanly. And then also learning to double tongue. Because when you double tonguing will, it's still very forward, but because you're constantly hitting the ta in the same spot, your ka is also kind of hitting more or less the same spot. So you can keep a very consistent double tonguing movement regardless of register. That is very cool. So if you're doing the K part is like right up there, I would say. That's kind of where I'll put here. This is K. And then that's the K part of the double tonguing. And then this is the T part of the double tonguing. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so the K part hits, I want to say, I'm aiming for about a third to about halfway in along the roof of my mouth. Yeah, the ta part of the like the, you know, if you're single tonguing or if it's the ta part of the double tonguing, it, as expected, hits where the note wants to resonate. So I'm just going to test that one more time. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, my mouth doesn't want to do it because I'm so used to doing more tongue gymnastics. But if I force myself to stay in approximately the same spot, it works. Okay, that's super interesting. So now let's do, I'll put here articulation, or I'll put tonguing. Tonguing stays in approximately the same area. So teeth to where roof begins. Okay, very cool. And then let's fiddle around with the mechanism just real quick. The gizmo also sticks up like crazy. It's very easy to find. Okay, what's interesting is that the gizmo actually brings the high C down. That's really interesting. It makes it a lot easier to play. So I'll put here that this actually shifts downward, like the highest C shifts downward, so it's like, yeah, it's much easier to play. I think that's approximately where it is. Yeah, a little further down. So shifts it down to around here. Yeah, and then that makes that much easier to play. Like you can hear how thin it sounds at first without the gizmo on, and it's because I don't have enough space in front of my gums to let it be that resonant. So that is super interesting. I know that this section is supposed to be about the mechanism, but that is super interesting that it does that. It makes it so much easier to play that high note. But with regards to how the mechanism feels, it's there's a little bit of resistance, but a lot of bounce. A little bit, it's a really interesting combination, because normally you would expect that if something has quite a bit of resistance, that it doesn't bounce quite so much. But there's a lot of bounce, including the B flat lever, the trill keys. The gizmo is the only one that has that, what I expect. The resistance, like it has resistance and not a ton of bounce, but every other key is extremely bouncy. So it's a little resistant and very bouncy is what I'll say. So gizmo for high C is a must because it brings down the resonant spot. And then keys are resistant but bouncy. I'll put here except for the gizmo. It's super interesting because the resistance is nice for intermediate to I would say like beginner flutes, because at that stage you kind of want the flute to kind of even out your technique for you a little bit, just so it's a little easier on you and you're not so frustrated with like tiny blips here and there. So you want that resistance in lower model flutes. But the bounciness is fun because you get that, at least from my perspective, it feels like there's a little bit more response from the flute. So if you wanted to do very like very brilliant sounding phrases, trills, etc., you can get that brilliance from the bounciness. You get that pop, I would say. There's like a little bit more of a pop to the sound. Yeah. Hey Greg, how are you? Yeah. If only there was a key or fingering that would bring down the high written C on the alto flute. I know, right? But okay, so let me see. I would say that is more or less how I feel about the mechanism. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add. So I do see I have some minutes. I have about 11 minutes before I need to move on to the next flute. So this is pretty much, this is my review of this instrument here. This is how the Haynes Amadeus 580 works. Perfect, absolute perfect step-up flute. it does everything you want it to do. Your tongue doesn't have to do tongue gymnastics. Your wherever you resonate in the flute, you also do not have to do gymnastics with that. You know, most of the notes that you will play at this level will already resonate where most people want to resonate their sound, which is usually around where the teeth meets the gums. Or like right behind that. That's normally where people want to resonate their notes, and most of your notes are going to come out really fantastic right there. But yeah, so and also it does have good tone color and dynamic control. Really good stuff. That one takes a little bit more finesse though, but I don't really know if that's something that beginner and step up flutists are like really care about right now. So yeah, I think that this is a perfect like step up model flute. Absolute perfect for that. Yeah. My mouth might not like it, but you know, from having worked with a lot of students that play around this range, I would highly recommend this. This is fantastic. Okay, I want to see if you guys had any interesting questions here. So I'm just going to let you guys stare at this and see if you guys have any questions, because I do have 9 minutes for you guys to ask any questions about the Haynes. So let's see. Right, I should probably swab this. I'll go and grab my my swab and stuff. It's all upstairs right now. I'll do that maybe afterwards. Gluten Granny, hello, welcome. Michael, hello and welcome. Void, Chella, Gary, BNA Bound, hello. Dana, how are you guys? Flo, did I say hi? Hello, Christine. Is there anyone else that I missed who just came in? Miguel, hello. And let's see. Titan and I'm gonna call you Titan. Hello. Nice flute for what it is. Your friend has one. That's great. Okay. So Samuel is asking, do you find a correlation between resistance and where it wants to resonate in your mouth? Absolutely. So you'll find that if you try to spin the air in some spots in your mouth and the flute does not respond, it feels like it's resisting you, right? But then if you move where you're spinning the air in your mouth, like at a certain point, the flute will just pop. Like it'll just like ring suddenly. And you like lose all that resistance. So yeah, that's a really great way of putting it. Yeah. Let's see. You guys also have tried the one earplug and so off balance. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get used to, for sure. I'm thinking that for reviews, I probably cannot put the earplugs in, because that's what I had to do last time too for the Woodify. I had to take out the earplug because I was like, I can't do this. Like I couldn't hear all of the nuances of the sound, you know. Yeah. I actually wonder if the lip hole being so freaking gigantic has anything to do with all of what we talked about today. I really don't know what aspect of what I felt about how this flute plays is a result of the lip hole being that gigantic and square, but yeah, it's interesting. So what pieces am I going to try out? I was thinking in the last few minutes here, I might just do some Genshin stuff. Yeah, just because, especially the Genshin main theme, it hits all the different registers. So I really like using that as a test. Okay. Okay, I did answer the specs. Very good. Okay. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I missed something of what you guys said, I don't mean to do it on purpose. Like any questions or anything you guys have, but let me know. Oh no, people use this for marching? Oh, that's really sad. Oh gosh. Yeah, don't do that, guys. If you guys are gonna go marching with a flute, please use a really cheap flute or a really old flute that is already super beat up. All right, please don't subject these beautiful things to the elements, please, please. Okay, we have 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of just kind of noodling around on the Haynes. I think I'm gonna do the Genshin main theme, just kind of see how it reacts. That is so weird to me because I keep wanting to resonate it low and forward, but it like I really have to imagine I'm just playing middle register. My mouth is too small up there. I don't have enough space actually for it to really resonate where I want it to. Like I feel like I have to almost play like that. Oh yeah. I know it doesn't look like it, but in my head, I am playing like it's very high. This flute rides very high. Okay. Yeah. I would say that my conclusion is this flute rides very, very high in the mouth, like extremely high. So if you resonate your notes really up high naturally, this thing is probably going to sing on you. I don't. I would say that I personally tend to ride my notes pretty low. Low and forward is what I do. This is forward and high, I would say. Yeah, I would say that's kind of my conclusion. So so 580 rides very high and forward. Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's a good place to end with that. Do you guys have any other questions about it while I put this away and take out the Yamaha. Actually, while you guys do that, like give me your questions and stuff like that, I'm going to go upstairs to grab my swabs so that I can properly clean this and put it away while I answer your questions. Okay, give me a sec. I'll be right back. Hello, hello, I am back. Yeah, I have been looking into just how long my reviews get. And as fun as it is to try out a whole bunch of classical pieces and stuff like that, that takes a lot of time. And I only have 2 hours for today's stream. So I needed to really condense it down. So I hope you guys don't mind that. I think what I'll do here actually is use this. So yeah, I love using the Genshin Impact theme though, because it really is very convenient for trying out sort of like the entire range of the flute in a practical setting. Because sometimes when I try it on only noodling around, I don't get sort of some more of the practical issues that I can come up against. But getting up to that high A is always one of those things where it's like, will it happen? Will it not happen? Don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to properly swab this guy. All right. Okay, there we go. Got it up to the top there. And we're just going to, which by the way, if you guys want a swab like this, I did just make a review on it, and it's really fantastic. I really love this swab. Oh, bone dry. So good. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy away. And then we're going to take out the Yamaha. Do I ever sub with the Seattle Symphony? No, I do not. Thank you for thinking that I can. I think I want to say it was like 10 years ago now. The principal flute position opened up, and just for fun, I decided to try out auditioning for it, and I think I got past 1 round, I think, something like that. But in all honesty, I didn't actually want the position. I just orchestral playing is wonderful, but I think for me, I don't think that's where my love is. My love of, like, you know, or maybe a better way to put it is that I don't think my heart is really there. And it took me a long time to realize that what I'm doing right now is where my heart is. That, like, I want to review flutes. I want to, you know, just like be a nerd. Oh, I just noticed one more thing. Do you guys see how gigantic and square that thumb key is? It's really flat too. Ah, I just noticed it right now while cleaning up. That's super interesting. It does make it a lot easier to find. The B flat thumb key is also very square too. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, you're welcome, Michael. You're very welcome. Okay, so I think this guy is nice and clean now. So the thing is, Flute Center is going to clean it again once it gets back into their hands. But there you go. That was the Haynes. So let's put the Haynes away, and then we'll take out the Yamaha and give that a whirl. All right. Okay, Yamaha time. Let's do this. I'm just going to move my stuff out of the way. Let's go to this screen so you guys can see. All right, let's see what's in here. So, oh, maybe I should do a little intro to this because this might end up becoming a separate video. So, all right, now, so we are going to review the Yamaha 462H. I should probably go through the specs with you guys. So the Yamaha 462H is sterling silver head joint and body. Okay, so this is silver throughout with silver plated mechanism. Okay, there is an optional gold plated lip plate, but I don't think we have that today. Offset G, French open hole pointed key arms. This one is B foot joint and French style case and cover. Okay, that's what we're working with. Let's take a look at what is in here. So we've got the shoulder strap. We have got, looks like this might be like a, I don't think this is wood. I think it's plastic or like a plastic, maybe like a resin-ish cleaning rod, but it's very sturdy, very good. Got that. Let's open up the rest of this guy. Ooh. Let's go. No, I did not audition for the Seattle Symphony second flute part. I'll tell you guys more why later. But okay. There it is. Here's our Yamaha 462. Looks like the plugs are in, so I'm going to take those out. Let me see if there's anything of note. Yeah, so the B-flat lever is a lot further down. It's not so high up as on the Haynes that I just reviewed. So this is more expected. Same thing with the gizmo, also kind of in a more expected, maybe traditional location or traditional height, that is. Honestly, it just kind of, it looks like just a great flute. Is this? Yeah, so I believe this is, yeah, no, not, same as the other one, no split E mechanism. Okay, it looks beautiful. The lip hole here is way more traditional in my opinion. Not super large. Maybe a little bit more, slightly more rounded than I think I would expect from like a flute that I see often these days. But still, it's not huge, but it's still pretty big. But we'll see how this plays. Okay, I am just going to take out the plugs, put them aside, and then I will put them back in afterwards, because I realized that it's probably better that I review this with the plugs out, just so I get a more kind of realistic I guess like view of it. Okay, I'm just putting these off to the side here. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, let's put this baby together. All right, let's do this. Yeah, it's a beautiful flute. Meet up with Bridget? I would love to. Oh, that's wonderful. You know her? Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. All right, guys, we got this flute together now. I'm just gonna put it in the rockstro grip that I need because I'm such a short person. Okay. Just want to see if there's anything else of note. No, it's a beautiful flute. I do notice that the joints come together very precisely on this flute. It's very precise and smooth. So I am very, very excited to try this. I'm going to just expect that this is going to be much more back playing than the Haynes that we just tried. So if you guys are watching this as an edited review, please take a look at my other review of the Haynes, so you'll see what we're working with here. Okay, we're gonna put this off to the side and we're gonna get to work. So let's lift this. Oy. Okay, so just so you guys know what my biases are again, okay? I am expecting a pretty back playing flute. Also, do you guys like my gigantic water bottle? No C-sharp trill, no C-sharp trill. No, there's no C-sharp trill here. There's also none on the Haynes. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So let's head on over to this screen. So now we are doing, I'm just gonna put here, this is the Yamaha 462H. Okay, here we go. So we will, I think I need to do a little bit of, let's see. I just need to save the drawing that we did earlier. And then, okay, there we go. We are set. It is time to do some harmonics. All right, let's see what the latest iteration of Yamaha has for us. All right. I'm gonna need to do a little bit of finagling to see where that high C sits. So apologies for the screaming. Okay. I feel like I don't have enough mouth to get that highest one. I'm pretty sure I know where it needs to go, but I don't think I have enough mouth to do it. Like I don't have enough space in my mouth, but I have a very small mouth. So okay, again. Okay, even further. Okay, so even further back, high in the throat. Okay, all right. I think okay. We'll try it. Oh, we're gonna count that good. Linny is absolutely correct. It's that high C is where I feel the passage where my nose meets my throat. And it is very hard to get back there. It came out once. We're going to call it good. Oh. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, it's very back. This is a very back playing flute. So they're still very back playing flutes, which is fantastic because there are people out there who need back playing flutes, in particular people who have overbites. So people who have overbites because your top teeth are hanging over your bottom teeth. Because of that, it essentially it locks you into a more back playing kind of like wherever you want to resonate the note, you tend to do it further back in the mouth, because if you do it too far forward, there's nothing underneath. Like it's just air. It's not your mouth underneath anymore. So like Yamaha, please keep making back playing flutes, please. Also very good for doublers. So people who play clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, any of the brass instruments, any of the reed instruments out there, if you also play a flute, you may end up really liking Yamahas because they tend to be for back playing, which is from what I understand from talking to my doubler students, from what I understand, where you kind of like hold the air in your mouth on other instruments, they tend to be further back than on a lot of flutes. So I'm so glad that like testing this new model for the newest Yamaha 400 series model, that they stayed back playing. Yeah. I mean, if Yamaha, if you ever see this, please do not ever stop making back playing flutes. Like the world needs this. Now, does it fit me? Not really, but that doesn't matter. I'm only one person. So, oh, yeah. Okay, Linny, thank you so much for your help. Yes, so we'll write this down. We'll write this down. Still very back playing. Good. Okay, this is a good thing. Yeah, so we'll put this here. So high C is pretty much resonating in the throat. That's yeah. Yeah. So okay, man, I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was harmonics. I think we need to do a little bit of drawing to kind of like show you guys where I'm feeling those resonant spots. So let's switch on back over to our drawing board. I might need to go back and forth a little bit with the drawing and the flute, just to make sure that I'm actually you know, drawing the correct thing. But we'll do this. So we have here our Yamaha 462H is what we're looking at here. We'll start with our lovely teeth. And then we will do our tongue is here. And then our lips. So our lips are here and they're here. Okay, cool. I'm getting faster at drawing this. All right, so let me just fiddle around a little bit and I'll draw as I go. I lost it, but I think it's approximately where the Haynes one was. Is actually slightly lower than the Haynes. So we will just do our little legend here again. So this is low reg. So it's I would say right along the edge, the bottom edge of your front teeth is where the low register sits. Gonna go back. All right. Lower end of middle register sits right where the teeth meets the gums to a little bit behind it. So I'll put here, this is lower middle register, and then right, I think, let me see how far back it goes. So I'm feeling it around here. Actually, maybe a tiny bit further back, like this. Yeah, I would say that's, yeah. So we are getting about a quarter of the way into the roof of the mouth, the upper middle register. The lower bit of the high register is already about halfway into my mouth, I believe. Okay, so lower, high, reg is right around here, middle of the mouth. The highest notes, I'll put here upper high register. Upper high register is like here. The highest one, the absolute highest one, like that high C, like I feel like it's like here. So this is high C. Woo! Okay. Okay, here as in that's where, like, I almost feel like that's where my nose passage, my nasal passage meets my throat. That's kind of, it's like way out there. Yeah. That's oh wow. Okay. So that's kind of the map we're looking at for now. I think what we'll do now is a bit of tone color dynamics, that type of thing. I suppose it is interesting that I started on a Yamaha, but how I play is so different. Yeah, I do find that interesting as well. I have given that a lot of thought. Okay, let's do some tone color dynamics. Okay, do you guys remember when I was trying the walnut woodify and I was saying that it was like a cone? Like it felt like the inside of my mouth was like a cone, and the wider part of the cone is in the back, and then it's a point in the front. That's exactly what's happening here. And I even said that I feel like I'm playing a Yamaha. I was right. I was right. It feels like a cone. So the cone, like, you just make the cone narrower for a like thinner sound. Thinner, it works for softer as well. And then you make the back of the cone much bigger and wider if you want a richer tone. Victor, do you like my water bottle? Boy. Oh my gosh. I was right. Oh my gosh. Jem, thank you for saying that. It's so sweet. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, we're gonna come back here. We're doing tone color. Okay, so tone color, and dynamics. Now, so I'm gonna put here that this is side profile. So, essentially, the tip of the cone hits wherever you need to resonate the note. So I'll put like, I'll make a little cone. Okay, there we go. Oh gosh, that's really quite terrible. We'll do this. Okay, now I'm putting it at an angle because normally it's at an angle because you have to hit wherever you're resonating. So I'll put here that at maybe around here, right at the point is where you are resonating the note. So I'll put here where you resonate the note. Okay, and then what I'll put here is you can either go thinner, so this is for a thin sound, and then you can go bigger, wider. So let's do gray, or you can go wider. This is for a thick sound. Wow, you guys cannot see that. Let me move this whole thing over. There, now you guys can see it. Okay. So, isn't that interesting? It's this, what I'm describing here is the walnut woodify. So if you guys want to make your flute like a Yamaha, you should get the walnut woodify. Oh, so it's also what you notice with your Yamaha? This is so interesting. Oh my gosh. By the way, I see all your questions. I will answer them after I'm done reviewing the Yamaha. So hang tight, okay? Hang tight. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'll put here tone color / dynamics is a cone shape like the walnut woodify. Oh, very cool. That is super cool. I want to try a little bit more of it. Oh, it works like a charm. Oh, that is so cool. That is extremely cool. Okay, so now we need to do little mechanism stuff. So we need to just kind of, or articulation. We'll do articulation. So I think the tongue does need to do a little bit of tongue gymnastics to, your tongue always has to hit wherever the note wants to resonate. And then that's where it's going to sound the cleanest. So here we go. What I find very interesting is because this is such a backplaying flute, you're only using the tip of your tongue for the lowest notes into your, I want to say middle register notes. By the time you hit high register, because it's so far, it wants to resonate basically against the roof of your mouth. You can't, at least I can't really like curl my tongue to tongue effectively with the tip. So I actually use like the flat part of my tongue that I want to say, it feels like it's only about, it's just a little bit further in from the tip of the tongue. So if we're going to go back to our drawing here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So when we are using the tongue, so for the low notes, we do use the tip of the tongue. So I'm just going to put it there for now. Now but for these high notes here, I would say that I don't use the tip. I use like just a hair back from the tip of the tongue. Like it feels to me that it's like, I want to say like a centimeter back from the tip of the tongue. Like it's not the tip, it's like just where it starts to become flat. I use that part, and that part is a lot easier to get against the roof of the mouth. This does mean though that if you're doing double tonguing, so when you're double tonguing up high, because you're using the right where the flat part of your tongue begins, it actually does feel like a slow flutter. It feels more like dugga dugga dugga. So I'll put here dugga for double tonguing. Like I'm doing taka for low to middle register. Taka for so I go taka 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 taka. So taka 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 taka. Okay, so let's try that. I'm gonna try it and see if it matches what I wrote here. Yeah, it's what I wrote here. So taka taka all the way up until the like until you're done the middle register, it really starts becoming dugga dugga because it's so far back. Dugga 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 dugga. Yeah, because if you try saying ta against the roof of your mouth, your tongue has to curl. But if you say duh, then you use that flat part of the tongue, like right when the flat part of the tongue begins, just a hair back from the tip of the tongue. And that works better for double tonguing. Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's articulation on this guy. That's so interesting. I never really realized how much of like the flat of the tongue you need to use when you're articulating against the roof of your mouth. But I suppose that makes sense, especially if you go like so high and far back. Like in a way, I almost feel like I'm gonna try tonguing those really high notes. I want to see if it feels more like I'm saying ka. No. Okay, it only feels like ka on the high C. So the high C, I cannot do a duh. Like this is straight up, if you're just tonguing a high C on this flute, it has to be a ka. Or a ga. For a high for a high C. So it was so interesting. The high C has to be a ka or a ga, even if you are doing just a single tongue on it. If you do a ta, it's too far forward, or even if you do a duh, it's too far forward. It has that spitty sound to it. Okay. That's super interesting. Okay. Okay. I think now I shall mess around with the mechanism. Lost my train of thought. All right, that gizmo, it does the same thing as on the Haynes. It brings it forward. So it's a lot easier to play that high C. So going back to here, the gizmo pushes this forward back to where your other high notes are. That's super interesting. So I'll just put here, this is the gizmo. Okay, now, that's super, super interesting. Okay, but now I will say that the, in terms of the mechanism, I didn't even notice it until now, but like, it's actually like, resistant isn't really the right word, but there's, it's hard to describe. I guess it is a little resistant. It's extremely even. It does not have the same amount of bounce as the Haynes did. So it's not super bouncy, but it is even. Yeah. So you have to kind of push at it a little bit. And then when it comes up, there's like, it doesn't come up super fast. But because of that, it can even out your technique really, really well. Like, you don't have to super time your releases because it kind of does it for you. It kind of evens it out for you. I actually really like this. I think personally for me, I like my mechanism even lighter. Yeah, but like, I like that the release isn't super springy, actually. I know some people like it, which is totally fair, but I actually kind of like that it's not super springy coming back up. Yeah. There's a fair bit of resistance. I really like it. Again, it's very good for a flute like this, where it can sort of even out your technique for you. I would say this is, the thing that's kind of ringing in my head right now is that this is just so good for a doubler. Because if you are normally playing like a different instrument where the timing of the keys is very different than on the flute, having that bit more resistance, and also the fact that the keys don't just bounce up like, you know, like crazy, can even out your technique for you, especially if you're kind of bouncing between instruments. I just think that the Yamahas are just so good for doublers. They're so, so good for doublers. This is precisely what you need, you know? You need a back playing instrument where the keys are a little bit more resistant, that's not as much bounce, so it is a little bit like, you know, you don't have to crazily time your fingers, you know? That's really good if you're jumping between instruments. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I like it. Okay. So I'll write that here. Resistant. Oh, wow, I cannot spell. Resistant. Yeah, okay. Not a lot of bounce. Very even. So I would say perfect for doublers. Absolutely perfect for doublers. Yeah. The student is bouncy and the pro isn't. You think it's intentional. Yep, I think it's intentional too. Because, ooh, that is a nice feeling. It feels really good. Okay, I have a little bit of time, so I am going to, feel free to keep your questions coming. I'm just going to test out the Genshin Impact theme on this one as well. And then we will start cleaning up and answering your questions and stuff. There was a little bit of guessing to get to that high A. You guys in here went, wah. Yeah, it's because I was like, I hope it's here. Oh, it is here. Oh, I'm putting too much air in it now. There it is. Because now I know exactly where it is. So now I don't have to like suddenly push a bunch of air. All right, I thought of one more thing that I want to just kind of talk about a bit. So you noticed how the low notes are still against the teeth, the upper teeth. I think that is probably why this works really well for overbite players. So people with overbites, you don't have to worry about like the resonance directly underneath here. You don't have to, because in terms of where you're resonating, you are like it's a cone, right? So if you're resonating this low note here, it's actually like that's actually how you're resonating it. So put here, or like you're enriching So I'll put here, this is the tone color part of it. So like you'll just make the back of it wider to get a richer note. You don't have to do it all up in the front. And try that. It would work better if I worked better with this shape. But I could see, I can feel the potential, but I don't have a lot of space down there. Again, I have a very small mouth. So, but I think this is probably why this works so well for people who have overbites, because the area where you need to have more space is in the back of the mouth due to this cone shape. So interesting. I love it. Okay. You have a big overbite? Well, you might want to try Yamaha. Okay. I think someone mentioned, I do have a little bit of time. So I think someone mentioned trying this on the octave leaps in the E bear. So I can try that. Let me try a little bit. Oh my gosh, it feels so different. What a mess. What a mess. That's hard. That is really hard. Okay, I tried it. Whoa. I feel like I have to go. Oh, it would be very good if you had an overbite, though. Would be fantastic. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's good. It's a great flute. Again, my conclusion from this is the perfect flute for a doubler. Absolutely perfect flute for a doubler. Someone who wants a really high quality flute, but you probably primarily play a different instrument, a brass instrument or a reed instrument. This is really good for you. Also perfect for people who have overbites. And people who tend to favor the back half of their mouth, because that's also where you control the tone color and the dynamics as well. So, okay. Thank you, Linny. I appreciate it. Let's clean up together, guys. Oi, 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 oi. Okay. So that was fun. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I had a ton of fun doing this, and it was, I think I didn't have a chance to tell you guys, but last night and this morning, as I've been preparing for this, I started to get kind of nervous. And I noticed that, especially now that I'm doing reviews more often, I noticed that I'm getting nervous before doing this because there's always a part of me that's like, can I do this? Can I deliver? Can I figure out these flutes? Can I figure out these flutes with people watching me live? But it is just, I think every time these flutes always do something to surprise me, and I just get super into it, and I don't have to worry that, like, if what I'm doing is, like, you know, enough to figure it out. And you guys also help too. You guys just help me focus on the delight that is being a nerd. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind and so sweet. Yeah, so thank you, Flute Center, for providing these flutes. This is not sponsored, so they just provided the flutes. And so that's why we can just do whatever we want and say whatever we want. But yeah, and I'm just like, I'm just so tickled by these flutes. And yes, it's a good time. This is a good time. Okay. Oh, I need to pop the plugs back in. Let me do that really quickly. I actually have them here. Oh, let me turn on this for you guys. Okay. Pop these bad boys back in. Oh, I popped it in really weird. Let me get that back out. Okay. Pop these guys back in. There we go. And then this one. Oop, 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 oop. Nope. So yeah, I wanted to pop these in before I wipe them down, just because that way I don't get my fingerprint all over it after. There we go. And then one more. Okay, there it goes. So we are all plugged up. Time to wipe this down. I did kind of psych myself out, absolutely. Okay, I did want to check the questions in here. Let's see. Sorry guys, I can feel that there's like a little bit of skin just, there we go. Okay, that feels better. So my favorite flute that I ever reviewed, I mean, is probably my head joint. Probably the head joint that I ended up purchasing. Can't help myself, okay? I have a little bit of a bias. Let's see. So Jem, you said after watching and learning from how I say about where the breath should be, you use that technique on a new Manka head joint. Thanks. Thanks so much. You're so sweet. I hope you're enjoying your Manka. If you're still here, can you let us know what Manka you ended up getting? I am so curious. If you guys don't know, my Manka is a 14 karat rose gold with a Mopani wood lip plate, and it is also a 14 karat rose gold riser. So what do you have? Because I know that Manka has so many different ones. Do I know if Haynes flutes have pinless mechanism? I think someone else mentioned that their handmade flutes do have full or partial pinless mechanisms. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the Haynes here. Looking at this Yamaha, this one is pinned mechanism. I'm just going to open up the Haynes real quick to check if it's pinned or pinless. Yeah, this one, the Haynes that we looked at today, is also pinned. Pinned mechanism is actually lighter. So for people who do not want flutes that are too heavy, you will probably actually want to look for pinned mechanism instead of pinless. Pinless is more precise, and like the key work is more precise. So when you play it, you'll feel like it's like super even. But a good pin mechanism will still take you very far. Like this flute, for example, is still also extremely even in its mechanism, even as pinned mechanism. Yeah. So let me see, is there anything else? Are the altus flutes resistant like this one? I don't know, Esther. It's been a really long time since I have reviewed an altus, so I'll be sure to add altus to my list of flutes to review. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I can't answer that right now. Although if you take, I have reviewed altus flutes before, so if you take a look at my old reviews and look for the altus ones, 1 or 2, I don't know how many I've done, you can see what I say there. I don't remember what I said. Oregon Symphony is holding a flute sub audition. I'm gonna be real with you. I really don't think that's my life. I would rather that go like to someone else who really wants it. I don't think it's my life. That would require, if I won it for some reason, and if I did end up subbing and stuff, I don't think that my life, the way that it's set up, is really meant for all of that. So, oh, I forgot to show you guys. Oh my gosh, wait a second, look, blue plugs. I've never seen blue plugs. That's so cool. Then you can't lose them as easily. Yamaha, you're cool. That's cool, man. And then as usual, Yamaha has like a whole little like kit. They have the gauze, polishing cloth, and like little instruction booklet, all of that. This I have seen before, but this blue plugs, I've never, have you guys seen this before? Because I have not seen this before. I am so glad this made it into the review. This is so cool. What the heck? Anyway, we're done. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna put that over here. We're all cleaned up. Usually the handmade Haynes are pinless. Yes, I am not surprised by that in the least. Like 10K plus, yeah. Jackie, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you. Is the weight of a flute a consideration? Yes, it is. So hence the discussion over pinned versus pinless mechanism. Yeah. They came with your Yamaha? The blue plugs? How long have they come out with the blue plugs? This is the first time I've ever seen the blue plugs. I've been out of the loop, guys, for a bit. You know, the last few years were absolute freaking chaos for me. That's the other thing that I was going to mention to you guys, was that the reason why, like, you know, I just haven't been around much in the last few years. And you guys have probably noticed that this year I'm suddenly a lot more active. And it's really because, you know, Hubs and I are in a much better place now. So his skin exploded 2 years ago. So if you guys don't know what happened there, look for my video called Topical Steroid Withdrawal, What Happened in 2021. And that goes into a little bit more detail about what we've been going through. So I realize that not everyone here knows what's going on, and also I know that I don't have an obligation to report to you guys what's happening in my personal private life. However, I did feel like that made such a crazy impact on just my career as well. Like my career had to stagnate actually in the last 2 years because of that situation. And so I felt that, you know, for good communication and also just so that you guys are in the know, I made that video in, I believe, the beginning of 2022. So if you guys want to know what happened to me, and I think a lot of my values and priorities changed as well as a result. So that's why I'm just going really hard into reviews now, because I realize that that is something I love to do, that this gives me joy. This gives me just, you know, it fills my cup. And so that's why I'm putting all of my energy into doing reviews and not so much into like auditioning for orchestras and stuff like that, because I feel that this is my calling. So yeah. There you go. I should try the Yamaha handmade head joints. I would love to. I would love to. Thank you so much for making that suggestion. But okay, I think I will take my leave now. Thank you all so very much for joining me in today's reviews. It was super fun, super nerdy. I learned a lot from this as well, and I hope you guys did too, and that you guys had fun just being wholesome, nerdy nerds. Please take care of yourselves. Do the best that you can to the best of your ability to stay happy, healthy, and safe. I know that it's not always within our control, but do what you can to take care of yourself, okay? Because there's no music without the musician. I will see you guys tomorrow for my next practice stream, where I probably need to rework my embouchure after today. All right. I might also rework my embouchure a little bit by myself today. I'm not sure if I have that time, but we'll try. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Laters. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.